What is going on, y'all? This is another reflection of the week. Kind of just telling you guys how my week went and just where I'm at in my goals of just becoming wealthy. So, I had a lot of success and then a couple failures, and also I've learned a couple things throughout the week, especially about kind of the world we're living in right now in regards to the financial markets and just the economy in general. But to start off, to be honest, um, I've been really studying pretty decently for the FE so far. I'm still in that math section, kind of like I told you guys before in the past videos, that it's super comprehensive, but it's all good. Right now, we're in vectors, getting brushing up on vectors. I'm starting to learn some stuff that I didn't really get when I first started learning about vectors, so that's pretty good as well. So, and that's really going to be helpful during the test, especially like in the static section and the fluid section. So, vectors in general is going to be a very big proponent to my success on this test. So I'm really excited on that. But kind of like touching on those failures, like I haven't been like super consistent and like keeping my word on how I've been studying. Like I've been waking up in the morning, like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning to study, but I prefer to wake up at 5 to at least get good 2 hours of studying in and also reviewing. But I really been like some days I woke up at 5, some days I woke up at 5:30, some days I only woke up at 6, only got an hour of studying because around like 7 that's when I start getting ready for work and like preparing my meals and stuff for work so I can eat at work. So I usually like make some eggs and some oatmeal because as you know, like right now I'm currently on a bulk. But yeah, I just been really inconsistent with that, and I need to lock in this week, to be honest. I didn't really like my performance on that. So yeah. Now, more so moving on to like my body goals and like the bulk. Um, Training wise, this week has been decent. Like I was really excited for my chest day, and I was really excited for my back day. Leg day was cool. I was kind of excited. I was like, okay, now I'm starting to like touch like 3 plates again. But I thought I was gonna hit more than that when I hit that day, which is like I think I like hit 3 plates and some change, so like around like maybe like 325. I was hoping that I was gonna hit like maybe like 350, but the bar was not going, bro. The bar was not going. So it was that, but definitely my incline bench is starting to get better. I'm getting closer to like just being able to rep 2 plates on the incline, and these are all based off a Smith machine, guys. Like obviously it's a little easier in terms of stabilization for Smith machines, and I do want to transition to like a more conventional regular gym where there's free weights. But as of now, like in terms of like my budget and like where I'm trying to go financially, Planet Fitness is gonna have to do, and it's gonna get me where I need to be. As long as I'm training hard and I'm doing my due diligence in the kitchen and just make sure I'm getting those calories and those good calories in. But I am gonna try to make a video of like kind of like what I'm eating and what my grocery list kind of looks like, because if you're into like fitness and you know that, you should know that it's pretty hard to like try to like keep track of your macros and also hit all your macros when it comes to money, because it does cost some money to like buy all that food and buy the proper food. So I kind of like do my best at budgeting and picking the right foods to actually hit all my macros within like a reasonable within a reasonable amount of money, essentially. So I try to stay around the range of like 150 to $200. At first it was at 150, but there was no way. So I was able to like skim it and get around like 175, because at first when I put everything that I needed, it was like around like 200 something bucks. I was like, all right, bro, like that's kind of OD. So I was able to like bring it back a little bit and kind of knock off the things that I really didn't need, and I just kind of kept the essentials. But I'll show you guys my grocery list coming in the future. But essentially, this week, this week was kind of good because like my highlight was more so learning about the economy and like and just the world, because I was actually looking at this one video. It was by Ray Dalio and it's called World Order. It's kind of breaking down like how the history of how powers rise and fall, basically, and we're kind of like in that weird space right now where it's looking like we're a power as the United States starting to fall, but there's a sequence of how powers rises and falls in a way. Like he said, there's three sequences. There's the first one where there's overprinting of money. So basically, we're printing more money than what we earn or what we have in reserve, which has already been a big proponent of the U.S. The second is more so internal conflicts. So that's more like polarizing parties, like just different like people of the political interests. They just have like these controversial ideas on how we should be running our system. So that can be in terms of just like I said, you got Republicans, Democrats going back and forth and just not liking what each side is doing or performing. And then you have also civil wars, but I mean, we don't have a civil war going on right now. So it's really more so that. And then you have external conflicts. So obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on with outside our country and like a lot of proxy wars that are going on. And that's how wars are kind of fought now. So the end all be all when the real world order switches apparently is when a war breaks out. Whoever wins, that's who ends up becoming like the new world. Well, the new leader of the world in a way. So right now, who's competing with us like heavily is China. So that's our external conflict. Like China is slowly kind of trying to keeping up on us and like almost a lot of things because if you think about it, China controls a lot of like the rare earths, rare metals and whatnot. They produce all that. They're like number one in all those spots, which I was really surprised to see. I never thought to look at it, but I looked at them like they're leading in like everything in terms of like metal, like or they're at least in the top five of producing that material, any like metal material, somewhat material, any kind of like material. It's crazy, and obviously they're like the what can I say? They're like the Amazon of the world in a way, bruh. Like they produce everything. Like they produce the stuff that people sell on Amazon. Actually, not even saying that the Amazon of the world. Like they everything manufacturing. That's what it is. They're number one in manufacturing. If you look at all the products you get, like they're mainly gonna say made in China. They run that. They make their money off of that. But that's kind of what I was learning. And then you can kind of look back in history and see how that stuff works to see what part of the cycle we're kind of in. I'm thinking based off like what I've learned so far, which I don't think it's 100% accurate, but I think we're in a zone where it's getting there, but I don't think we're there where everything's gonna get flipped on its head. There's a lot of stuff going on, yes. Like there's stuff like talking about like acquiring Greenland and like Greenland pushing back on like Trump and stuff. We got proxy war over there in Ukraine. Got stuff going on in the Middle East. It's just a lot of confusion going on right now, and like the markets aren't reacting the way they're supposed to be reacting. So like you're having good news pop, and then the markets sell off, and they're saying like the S&P is performing pretty well. So usually when the stock market's performing well, people have money, but people are claiming and like saying that they don't have any money and that they barely have anything to live off of because yes, I guess I forgot to look at the new inflation reports, but they're saying like inflation's coming down and then they're talking about cutting interest rates again, which that's gonna raise inflation some more. So that's just gonna make it harder for people to live off of. So that's gonna be interesting. And they're just everything is just kind of working in reverse right now. It's kind of a weird space that we're in general and as a world, as a country in general, and in the world to be honest. So the way the world order, like I said, switches when a war breaks out, but war war is no longer gonna be fought conventionally like the way it was in the past. You get me? Like there's no gonna be like just head on just fighting because everybody all the powers own nukes. And if you nuke, everybody nukes each other, you're gonna level the earth, bro. Like, there's not gonna be anybody to inhabit anything. There's not gonna be anybody to rule anything, in a sense, because that's what it is. This shit is like historical, like just like biblical, bro. Just conquer, just conquer. It's just phrased and looked at a little differently in today's world. But in a sense, it's conquering. It's an empire. We're an empire. And right now we make the rules because we are the reserve currency. That's who essentially makes the rules. We are the ones with the strongest military as well. So there's a lot of like nuances what makes superpower a superpower and who's first. You get me? So that was a lot, but that was kind of like what I was kind of learning this week, and I kind of want to dive deeper into that because in those in these kind of like volatile areas and these volatile waters in the world, this is where opportunities are bred, and that's what I've learned so far as well from like listening to this one lady. Her name is Nicole. I forget the name of her channel again, bro, but she talks about it, bro. She's like this. It's a super volatile world right now, and opportunities are bred there because when volatility is high, I hear liquidity. You get me? And if you can get in the right time or get in the right place, bro, the sky's the limit at that point. So much money could be made at that. So honestly, again, this week was okay. It wasn't my best performing week. Had some things that like I was a little disappointed in. I'm also still trying to get a little organized with my content and trying to pick certain days for what I need to do. And I constantly want to like create a better like overlay for the content. Been thinking about that. Still haven't executed on that. So there's like little things that I'm failing in, and there's things that I'm feeling good about. So it's all good though because that's just a part of the journey, and I'm okay with it, to be honest, because I'm just gonna try to figure it out as I go, because that's what I want to do. I want to be able to be a doer instead of a thinker, and well, let me rephrase that. I'm inherently a thinker, and I love being a thinker, but I need to exercise the muscle of doing instead of over analyzing. Like, you guys ever heard of that phrase, analysis paralysis? That's kind of like what I go through, and I'm sure you guys or anybody goes through that as well. So it's very it's very annoying, to be honest, because then you end up just sitting there in one place and just doing nothing. So, but yeah, YouTube. These metrics aren't correct, by the way, because they did not update. I forgot to refresh them. But right now, weight wise, I'm 209, and then basically everything stayed the same, about the same. My arms grew like 1.125 inch, a 0.125 an inch, I think. So you say it, but yeah, nothing really grew too much. I'll give y'all like a little quick physique update and then we can wrap the video up. But definitely I'm feeling like definitely fatter, but at the same time like I feel stronger. So I feel like it's a mix of like muscle and some fat, bro. But this is what we looking like right now. So got this. This is crazy, bro. But we here, bro. We here. By next year or something, bro, by the end of the year, I hope I'm a lot bigger, and then I could be able to cut it down, bro. Like, I just want to be just a little bit bigger, bro. I just honestly want to be able to rep like 3 plates, bro. Like about 3 plates. 3 plates, squat like 4 to 5 plates. Curl 80, 90 pounds, bro. I just want to be strong as hell and just a little bit bigger, bro. That's all I really want. And once I get there, to be honest, I'll just maintain probably for the rest of my life. Once I know I can hit some of those goals. And I need to write those goals down as well so we can kind of keep track of them, because I did just get a blackboard. So I'm going to do like a room update and talk about how I like to install my blackboard, because I talked about getting it. Never showed you guys when I installed it, which I installed it yesterday. that's the video, y'all. Appreciate you viewers watching, and I'm gonna catch y'all, man.